Hi everybody, I'm Brian McAnulty.
I'm Katarina Butnaro.
And this is BrightLounge, where we talk about design, startups, and technology.
Welcome to the very first episode. I'm really excited about this.
Me too.
We're in Novi Sad, Serbia. It's the second largest city in Serbia after Belgrade. We're here to have an interview with Ilija Studen,
Yep.
The founder of activeCollab, project management tool we have been using for 2 years now.
Yep, since version 1.
Yeah, so let's just get started and present ourselves.
Sounds great. So I am a designer and musician. I've been creating things my whole life since I was a little kid with Legos.
Yeah.
And then around 8 years old, I started using CorelDRAW 3. And just a couple years ago, I founded Velour Studios. And I'm the art director there. It's a multimedia design and development studio. We do web, print, music, video, and photography. And recently, we've been branching off as more than just a web design studio and a couple other side projects, which BrightLounge is one of those.
Yeah.
I also like traveling, inline skating, playing guitar, and lots of other stuff.
Yeah, so Velour Studios is based in Philadelphia.
Yep.
We are both working at Velour Studios. I am in charge with the marketing and interaction. I'm from Romania, and I study psychology and marketing.
Yep.
I love traveling, reading books, coffee. I love running, and I'm inspired by people who want to make a change. And I love to listen to TED Talks while I work on awesome things at Velour Studios.
Cool.
Yeah. How do we get the idea for BrightLounge?
So it really evolved a lot, I guess, since we first came up with it.
Yes.
But the basic idea is that we wanted to talk about the things that we're into while taking a break from work.
Yeah, web apps, new trends in design, web technologies, have interviews with people around the world because we're traveling.
Yep.
So we're always going to have a different background, a different country we're going to be in, and a different story, and it's going to be awesome pretty much.
Yeah, and hopefully as a designer or entrepreneur, people in our audience can sit back and relax and
enjoy
check out what we're going to talk about.
Inspired.
Yeah.
And even come up with suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay. For the very first episode, we think it's a good idea to talk about the winners at Startup Bus.
Yep, from South by Southwest.
The winners are Qwiki and Trip Mehdi.
Yep.
And then we're gonna present you the interview that we had with Ilija Studen. And also talk about my favorite web app.
Quickie.
Quikie.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's get started and talk about Startup Bus. So Startup Bus is an event at South by Southwest. It's the second year now.
Yes.
And basically, different teams.
It started to be a real story.
Yeah, it started out from an actual thing. So how did it start?
Well, it turns out that these friends come up with the idea of building a functional web app prototype and even taking the challenge to do that in 24 hours.
Yeah, on their way to South by Southwest.
Yes, on their way. And the idea just turned out to be a cool competition.
Yeah.
South by Southwest Interactive. So right now, this year, we have a few teams just like that, just friends coming together, think about new ideas, new solutions, new web apps, and they try to develop a functional web app prototype. They try to put together a promotional video.
Yep.
And try to pitch the idea to high-profile investors.
Yeah.
And even 24 hours later, they figure out, oh, that's actually really cool. It's going to be huge. That should be our full-time job now. Yeah,
it's really interesting. And Qwiki, one of the winners, is doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting how they are from different regions of the world. I think one girl is from Australia. They come from different backgrounds. They have different skills, and they came up with the idea of developing a mobile application, Qwiki, which allows you to use QR codes to scan QR codes placed on
restaurateur.
Yes.
So the restaurateur will have QR code and use a Android phone,
Yeah.
iPhone, and you can scan it and then
Yeah.
see the wait time of how long you have to wait for that restaurant.
Also make a reservation yourself, and you receive a notification when the place is available.
Yeah.
So you can come back. So it's very interesting. It's also a mobile application that can be used by the staff of the restaurant as well, because they can manage manually the waiting list and add people when necessary. So it's very interesting how they manage to resolve both problems of the restaurant owner and the customers. And it's pretty cool.
I think it could be a pretty useful thing for the spontaneous kind of outing with friends when you're walking by and you can just check real quick. Oh, okay, 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes to go. Do something quick and we'll come back here. And it's a pretty nice to use for it, I guess.
Yeah. Would you use it?
I might use it. I would usually, like, if I was planning to do something, would call to make a reservation or go, like, I don't know. Usually when I go out with friends, I go to a place that, like, I would go to pretty often, so I know like when it would be available. But I could see using it going out. Like, there have definitely been a couple of times where it would have been useful.
But I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult to try to implement a system in places like in countries from Europe, because definitely in Europe you know that you have to make a reservation, or you go out to a place that you know is not going to be crowded, and I feel that they need to develop the site where you can make recommendations. You can choose dishes or restaurants and recommend those places, and also integrate that with the entire application. So they can take that direction as well. Something like food spotting. Or
open table as well.
And like, a cool combination of that would be really powerful in the future.
I definitely agree.
So right now, as far as I know, they are already testing the mobile app in Australia with a few restaurants and in the United States, and they have started to integrate SMS-based, instant messaging based reservations. So you can just send a message to make a reservation, because they definitely realize that there is an actual need for that.
It's not just scanning and then waiting. Reservations are important, so that's good. And next winner is TripMehdi, right?
Yes.
So TripMehdi is a way to find cheaper medical services, primarily for people in the U.S. who either, if you have insurance or you don't, it's a way of finding, getting surgery or something that you need done much cheaper by having it done in another country.
And also having the feeling of security that you go to a place that has been recommended previously by other people.
So you know it's okay.
Yes, so they are using the word of mouth based recommendation system very much, but I hope that they will handle that well, because of the risk involved by spam messages and people just trying to over recommend the place.
That's the one thing that I see as something they really have to take into consideration, make sure they work out.
But I think they are balancing that very well with statistical information regarding the rate of success for different treatment techniques and different medical institutions in other countries. So again, it's a web app that can be used mainly in the US. I wish they would take it a step further and push the medical service idea to a global level and make it affordable to basically everyone.
I mean, it can be difficult. It depends on the country. There'll always be someone who it would be expensive for still, I guess. But
so that's pretty difficult to but it's I think it's very interesting how these web apps they come from different angles. point of views. Like walk-in is addressing the need of having fun while you are waiting to get your place at a restaurant. And
Trip Mehdi is a pretty serious thing.
Pretty serious.
Very different sides of the spectrum.
Yes, yeah. Different problems, different levels of complexity, and offering solutions to that, which is the definition of a really good product. When they do find a solution for a real problem, that's when you have a good product.
And there was one more app that we like, Bouncer, which wasn't one of the winners, but it's basically like Bitly for your email address.
Yes.
So you have your email address and you can shorten it to give out to someone who you don't want to give your real email address. And then later on you can choose to cancel that.
Yeah, you can find a way to use it mostly on social media channels like Twitter, where you find somebody you want to talk to or continue a conversation with, but you want to protect your email address, you want to protect your personal contact information, so you just mask it by using an email shortener.
Yeah, I can definitely see a lot of uses for it on Twitter, where you're talking to someone, say, hey, let's continue this conversation, just send me an email here, and you can feel comfortable about posting an email because like you don't have to worry about people getting a bunch of spam, because then you can delete it.
Yeah, you can cancel the shortened email address, so that is absolutely useful. So that's it for Bouncer.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's a good, like, it can be used by everyone, and it's a really simple idea.
Okay, I think it's time for us to get into the interview with Ilija Studen.
Yep.
I hope you enjoy it. So we'll talk to you later.
Yep, we'll be back to talk about Qwiki.
Okay.
We're here with Ilija Studen, the founder of activeCollab, the popular project management system. So, how did you start working on activeCollab?
It all started back in 2005. 2004 actually. It all started with Basecamp. They created a lightweight project management tool that did not involve too many complicated steps, and it was just plain and simple and easy to use. And I wanted to use something similar. I had a couple of freelance projects and was a student at that time. So I couldn't afford it actually, because the freelance project that I had did not, they were not as reliable revenue source, so I could not be sure that I will have like monthly that amount of money. And I actually at that time had so much free time, so I decided to create one for myself. And I did, and after that I started using it, and while I was using it, it evolved a bit. So then I had something on my computer that other people would probably want to use. Since it was okay for me, I guess, then it is okay for someone else. And then at some point in 2006, I rewrote the entire application and released it as an open source product.
That sounds cool. Did you have like a very clear plan to develop the product, promote it, launch it, promote it, and support everything afterwards?
No plan. Actually, since it started as a side project, the first option, the one that I went with, is to continue develop it as a side project, not to develop it as a product or charge for it or anything like that. So I continued doing what I was doing, like freelance projects, stuff like that, and just launched the product as an open source project, as a side project. And eventually that fell apart. Well, it was great. The launch was great. The response from the community was great. The response from the internet media and everything. And the funny thing about side projects is that they can grow. What I didn't know is that something that started as a side project suddenly started consuming like 6 to 8 hours of my time.
Becomes the main project.
Yeah.
What about the transition from version 1.0 to 3.0, what's the hardest part? Just to have a product out, or to make it better and push it to the next version? What would be more
the
difficult?
thing is, people. One thing I learned in the past couple of years, one of the things, is that there are a lot of software companies that have been in the similar situation like we are, and they are sharing their experiences on their blogs and everything.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they are sharing is that the most fun people will have is before version 1. Because you don't have customers to support, you don't have long pre-sale discussions, you don't have scheduled demos, you don't have phone calls, you don't have... So getting to 1.0 was all development, pretty much no support, just a couple of guys writing code, designing interfaces, implementing them. From that point on, it is hard to build the version 1, especially if you have limited funds or you need to do it as a side project. But once you pass that point, you have that thing covered. So okay, you are on the market, you have the real feedback from the customers, you are, I assume, making money as a good sign. So, and then the problem of burning funds, not making money, not having real feedback is off, and you have new problems like dealing with customers, dealing with pre-sales, what's your refund policy, all the different platforms that you are supporting, bugs and feature requests, and growing the company, since if you are doing it right, you will be growing. There is not much point in keeping it at the same size. Customers will not let you keep it at the same size, because if you are doing something good, they will keep coming. So you will have to grow to respond to the demand.
Yeah.
So one set of problems gets replaced with another set of problems. After that, you solve some of them. There will come new ones.
I'm sure everybody is interested in what's been happening recently with activeCollab. Where is it headed now with version 3?
Thing is that version 3 is not incremental upgrade. It's more like 1.0. With 1.0, we took all the experience that we had with open source version, all the feature requests, all the feedback that we got from the customers, all the information that we got about the customers, who they are, what their businesses are, what their clients are. And based on that information, we designed pretty much the new system. Yeah. Almost near rewrite. 1.0 was almost near rewrite of the open source version. Yeah. And we made a new product, pretty much with the same name. With activeCollab 3, we are doing something similar.
So like rewriting.
A rewrite.
Not exactly complete rewrite, but there is a lot of every aspect of the application has been improved. From the framework, from the ground up, all features have been tweaked a bit, and the problem is, unlike activeCollab 1.0 that had 75 key features, the activeCollab 3 has 175. It's 3 times bigger than the old one. So it's instead of 6 months that took us for 1.0, it will take us a year and a half, almost 2 years for 3. Yeah. But we look at it as an investment. Now that we are done with such a big upgrade, we can then start with the more frequent incremental releases. Yeah. So that's what 3 is all about. Foundation for the next 5-10 years maybe. Yeah. And it's people will be surprised when they see it. It's different. It feels more like an application than like a website. It's JavaScript heavy. It's less clicky. It's
feels more like an app.
Yeah, feels much more like an app.
Cool.
And it's using all the modern web technologies, and it's aware that it's 2011 and not 2007.
That's
so
awesome.
it will recognize your tablet and properly react to it.
Yeah.
It will recognize your iPhone. It will recognize your modern web browser.
Very responsive interface.
Yeah,
And
a lot of our customers have, some of our customers have still 19-inch screens, but a lot of them have beautiful 27 LED cinemas, and activeCollab will know when you fire it up on 27-inch cinema, you will have a lot of space and
Awesome.
and everything. So.
yeah, that's great. So it's not just improving the features, but also the experience, user
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, the feel is
Absolutely
different.
awesome. Yeah.
The feel is completely different.
Cool.
That was the whole point of the entire thing. And since it's not incremental,
Yeah.
it's pretty much ground up
Yeah.
redesign.
We heard you guys have
A
a
cook.
cook and
Yeah,
home cooked meals every day. What's the story behind that?
that's actually something that we not necessarily stole, but actually heard that. We heard that from Joel Spolsky of Qwiki that they have cooked meals. What we didn't know is that they have employees cooking meals or something like that. And we thought of that. Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Why force employees to go out and buy some cheap sandwiches, spend their own money on food, when we can make it? I don't know.
In-house.
It's in-house. Yeah, actually, it's our meeting area. It's our meeting time. We don't have meetings ever. And what we do is we sit around the table, have a lunch, and talk about different stuff. Not necessarily work, but everything, life, fun, usually work, since we are in the office. And what we have is a nice, good meal. Home cooked meal, not cheap sandwich or a burger.
Yeah. So what's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is something that our cook prepares by accident. At some point, it's chicken with curry and all the stuff we had in the fridge, and it actually turned out quite well. So we've been repeating that for like every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It does not have a name. It's
It's activeCollab special dish.
active chicken
Awesome.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And nice, apart from practical reasons, there is also the social element. It's actually our meeting time, our meeting place, and we will not have a regular weekly meeting or anything like that. We don't do that, but we will sit and talk about work, about things that we do for fun, about recent support requests that we got that got tricky or was funny, or all things A51 get discussed there. Personal lives, movies, and it brings people
Together.
closer, together. Coffee and
Sounds
food.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, it's been doing it for like centuries now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some unique industries that you wouldn't have expected to be using activeCollab that you've seen using it?
What we did expect is that it will be used by freelancers, by contractors, by architectural firms, by similar businesses that do projects for clients. What we didn't expect is that we will have like Bank of Croatia interested in our product, Bank of Mongolia. I think that they have a license. We didn't expect many of U.S. mutual funds to have licenses. Companies that, I don't know, they are in product development. Like, I was so happy when I saw that Lego purchased a license.
Cool.
That's awesome.
They like my favorite toy from childhood. And all of a sudden, some of their employees are using something that we made to get the job done or work on projects, and it was actually
I can only
fun to
imagine
see.
the feeling when Lego is like
Yeah,
hey guys, we're using your thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's always interesting to see who is using. Not well, apart from the many smaller companies, it's sometimes surprises you when someone big is not necessarily surprises you, but
It's cool to see.
just cool. Yeah, like Intel, like Adobe, like Apple has a couple of licenses, like, and I use all of the products are Apple products that we use, and it's great. So
Yeah.
to see that it's adapted by so many companies.
Yeah.
All sorts of companies, from software, web design to banks, and I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah. that's cool.
hairdressers.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that.
Maybe.
So, what do you see as the next big thing in web apps, or where do you think that they're moving towards?
All things mobile, all things everywhere synchronized. And that's not something, that's not next big thing, that's something that's been happening for a while. And so we will have great web applications that have a great interface, more application-like interface, that they have client-side caching, that have minimum possible number of calls to server, that have that act like applications on one side, on the other, and then on the other side you will have that same application on your phone while you're walking around, while you're away from your computer.
Yeah.
And it will synchronize seamlessly with the over the air or whatever, and you will have constant access to your data. And as I said, that's something that's already happening.
Yeah.
What we need now is tech press catching up and thinking of interesting name for that to continue pushing it as the next big thing, like they did with cloud computing. These are technologies that exist for 10-15 years. They just figured out a nice name, and now they are selling subscriptions and paper with must implement in your corporation technology.
How did you manage to find the right people, to hire the right developers, the right people in your team?
Remember the thing I talked that while you grow, problems change.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, our current problem is the growth. We don't have problems with employees or anything like that. But it's a constant problem that will, as you grow, to find the right, how to find the right people, where to look for them. And the funny thing is that we just put an ad, and I don't know what my opinion currently is, that there is no wrong employee, there are just wrong expectations. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, you are looking for interface designer, and you look through if you are a big popular company or small popular company, people will literally struggle to get to you. You will be able to pick from many good potential employees. But when you put an ad, you have like just a bunch of people looking for a job, not necessarily knowing about your business, about your products, about your philosophy, about everything. So during interview process, you try to find the best fit, but eventually that person does not necessarily need to be the best for the role that you envisioned for her.
Doesn't need to know everything. They can just learn.
And with time, you find that that particular person is, for example, better in handling, in working with customers than in working with, I don't know, under pressure when some critical bug is discovered. And you just shuffle them around a bit, and they find their place.
For example, what some people are not familiar with is problems that SSL brings. To have a HTTPS connection, browser will not cache images. So if you have an image-heavy design, on each request you will have to load all images.
Yeah.
So by using single-page interface and by using the least possible amount of images, we are making activeCollab more responsive to the user.
Yeah.
Thing is, it may not be faster on the server. Server side may be even slower, but customer will perceive it as a much faster application.
Yeah.
And these are all the tricks that modern technologies are allowing us to do, and customer does not care actually whether it's a trick or whether it's it took like 0.1 second for server to generate HTML, or it took 1 second, as long as it got what he wanted fast.
Yeah.
Don't look if that particular product or a service exists broadly. Look something that fits your needs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons we chose activeCollab, because we could host it and.
Yeah, well, most web design companies have their own hosting.
Yeah.
And like to play around with interface, with building their own theme, integrating it with their own website.
Yeah, that's true.
And they choose it for that. Some companies choose it because they can run it behind their own firewall.
Yeah.
We never see that installation again. It does never call back home or anything like that. It's in a void. It's in that secure area.
Yeah.
And they are using it. We don't have an idea how much data it's working with, how many users they have. No clue. And that's why they chose it. So nobody knows.
Yeah.
And nobody has access to their data. They can keep it in a vault if they want, and it will continue to work.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. That's what makes our model different than most of the other tools on the market.
Yeah.
Self-hosted project management and collaboration tool at an affordable price.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much the definition. Find something that works for you, and the best way is to scratch your own itch.
Yeah.
And make a product. This does not mean that you will make money by creating a command line tool that, I don't know, searches through your movie database. Maybe you will, actually. But command line tool. Create something. Create something that you need and wrap it up in a form that can be used by regular people.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
That
that was great. Thank you for your interview, Ilija, and we look forward to see what activeCollab 3.0 is like. Really excited about that.
Yep.
We are now. Thanks for having me here.
Yep. Great talking to you.
Okay, cool.
So that was a great interview with activeCollab.
Yes, I'm looking forward to using the version they're creating now,
Me too.
3.0. Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully we can show you guys a screenshot. If not, we'll try to get one to you soon.
Yes. Okay, back to my favorite web app.
Yep. Quickie.
Qwiki. It's the winner of TechCrunch Disrupt last year. They are trying to create information experiences by pulling in data from the web using different APIs. So they are very resistant to defining Quikie as a search engine with voice, because it's much more than that.
Yeah.
The APIs they are using, they managed to pull in video, images, dynamic graphs, and create this Quikie, which is a way to experience knowledge and create 2-minute long experiences for the person who uses a certain term as a search
searching
keyword.
for a person, a thing, place.
Yes. They have indexed a couple thousand.
Couple million.
Couple million.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple million basic, popular people, places, things like that.
But they'll definitely expand, and they're trying to use Quikie in various different ways.
Yeah, they have a really broad image for it, actually, and which is pretty impressive at TechCrunch Disrupt.
Yeah.
What they talked about was having it eventually be something that you wake up to in the morning, and then your alarm goes off, which is Qwiki, and then it tells you this is the weather for today, this is what you have to do today.
Yeah.
So
there are different user cases.
Yeah.
And they are definitely thinking about ways to monetize the service. And one way would be that brands would be interested to create their own Qwiki and pay for customized Qwiki, which is awesome for a product to be able to offer experiences that experiences that are available to users, but also have features that can be monetized easily. But a future application of Qwiki would be to integrate this application with an augmented reality environment.
Yeah, I'd love to see it in a mobile form. I know that they're planning to develop an iPad app, but it would be really awesome in the future to have Qwiki on your iPhone or Android phone, and be able to have a kind of Google Gears like interface where you can snap a picture of something, and Qwiki can start to tell you this is what that is.
Yeah, like using voice input to search and maybe interact with the interface, such as saying, show me more or tell me more, and then the Qwiki interface will react to that specific keyword and bring in even more data. I think it's a really unique web app, and I love it because it can be a product that can be used in so many ways.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential.
It's very strong and it has a lot of potential. So we're looking forward to see what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah, they have a lot of work ahead of them, but I'm excited to see what happens.
And I do love the team. The team is very diverse, and one of the co-founders is an actor.
I didn't know that. I think I might have heard that, but I don't remember that.
I think that it's interesting how artists can see. I guess maybe that's how they got inspiration to pursue beauty in art, science, and technology. I think
it's really interesting.
It's interesting. Right, so that was it for the first episode of BrightLounge.
Yep. So let's talk about where you guys can find us. We'll be on iTunes, YouTube, Vimeo.
Multiple other channels. You're gonna find the list. You can find us.
Put some more up here.
You can find us at Brian McAnulty on Twitter and Katja on Twitter for myself.
And you can also, of course, see episodes on BrightLounge.tv.
Yes.
And lastly, it's cool that we got partnered with Vizar for even from this first episode that they're offering video hosting for us, and also we'll have iOS optimized streaming, so you can watch this on iPhone or iPad.
Vizar is definitely our favorite type of service for podcasts, so we're really happy that we did manage to get a partnership with them. Okay, guys, so we'll see you next time. We'll have a different interview. We're going to be in Romania.
Somewhere new.
Yes, and we'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.